Okay, we have an image here entitled Vacancy. Very simple. Cross with a motel sign on it. It says Vacancy, and then there you have Jesus standing there. What meaneth this? What's going on here? Well, my interpretation of this, because you can interpret art any way you want to. Here's my interpretation. You take it or shake it. Here's what I see. Christ himself was vacated on the cross. What do I mean by that? The Savior of the world on a cross, becoming one with the sin of the world, is slipping slower and slower and slower and deeper and deeper and deeper into the darkness on our behalf. As the sin of mankind, all mankind for all time, he becomes one with it. The Father, in his holiness, must back away and forsake him. You see that? Holiness and evil cannot coexist in its totality. So the Father, and Jesus says, my God, why have you forsaken me? Well, the answer is because you're becoming one with the sin of mankind. Now, let's sync this up with the last 7 things that Jesus said. He said, I thirst. Okay? He's getting deeper into the darkness, moving towards hell, kind of experiencing the hell in the heat of hell, becoming one with sin. I thirst. The second thing he says is, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. He's wanting to elaborate the very things that people will not experience that he's experiencing. They will not experience forgiveness, becoming one with sin without God. He says, forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. He says, today you'll be with me in paradise, to the criminal, and he is not in paradise. He's giving us the opposite. He says to the Virgin Mary, he says, dear woman, here is your son, and to John the disciple, he says, here is your mother. What he's saying is, I'm slipping deeper and deeper into the absence of relationships and deeper into loneliness. I want to accentuate the fact that while you're here, enjoy your relationships. While you're here, drink. While you're here, enjoy one another. Then he goes on to say, into your hands I commit my spirit. He's near the end of his life, and he's giving himself up for you and I, should we choose to accept that. And then finally says, it is finished. Realizing there is a time and there is a place when it will be finished, and you and I will no longer have that opportunity to accept him for who he said he was. There is a time, there's a moment in time where you will perish and you will no longer have a moment, a chance, an opportunity to receive him as the penalty for your sin, to receive him as one who will forgive you. That time, when you started this video, you were further from that moment than you are now. You just move closer and closer and closer to that moment of judgment as Jesus slipped closer and closer and closer to total judgment of all mankind upon himself. Anyway, vacated. He was vacated by God on your behalf, that you and I would never be vacated by God. In fact, God says, never will I leave you, and never will I forsake you. Of course, you have to acknowledge that he is who he says he is, and not stand in rebellion or rejection of him. But he says, Christ was vacated, forsaken, so that you and I would not be. There's also more extended versions of this incredible thing that happened on the cross in the Bible in 3 section of Your Life Points website. And I just thought I'd go over this one more time. Belt gives us a pretty good, cool picture of being vacated, left and abandoned, that you and I would never be left or abandoned by the Father. Think about that. Check them out.